So this chapter is really the kind of what happened to Toriko and Rin chapter, and we certainly are introduced to a number of different unique and colorful beasts in the world of Toriko. Gourmet number 35, the Regal Plateau. Plateau.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome, the intricately woven, the wonderful world of Toriko. Certainly the last couple of weeks, I know that I've been a little bit off track with things as far as the reviews. I do apologize for that and will be trying to get back onto my regular schedule this week. It was certainly very trying because I have 3 children, 2 of them of which go to school, and they were, of course, off for winter break. So we were doing a ton of different fun things, family things, and even when we weren't, it was very difficult as I don't live in a huge mansion with a giant soundproofed room/studio to do recordings and things like that. So we will try to get back on and back on track over here. Now, our last chapter, of course, saw us with after the rock drum had attacked and kind of knocked everybody different ways. We saw what happened to Komatsu and Sunny, and that was kind of their whole little side adventure. And really, it ended with Sunny just sort of looking at Komatsu in a different light, almost as like a beautiful person, not because of him himself, but because of what he could do and the equipment that he used as far as being a chef. So that's where things left off. Things pick up on the entirely other side of the world, so to speak, the Regal Plateau over here, and it's in the White Forest. Now, it tells us that it's 500 kilometers, away from the black carpet. So 500 kilometers roughly equates to a little over 1,000 miles, about 1,100 miles, and I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me? The rock drum kicked Rin and Toriko 1,100 miles from where they were. I don't know if I maybe mistook something or screwed something up, but maybe my math is wrong. But even 5 miles is a little bit far to fly through the air and land. Maybe not for Toriko, but I thought Rin was like just, a normal person. So nonetheless, though, it kind of starts out and immediately jumps into the action over here. We see a double-page spread of Rin, Toriko, and Terry, but Terry is not with them. Toriko explains that Terry probably dodged or evaded the rock drum's attack, and who knows where he may be right now. But this is very much the Rin and Toriko story. Rin, of course, having hot flashes for Toriko and getting very excited and pretty much just moist, for lack of a better word, being around him. But these two, it starts off, and there's several pages of Toriko going and attacking various animals that are coming at them. One looks like a kind of a cross between a dinosaur and a rhinoceros. It's called a dom. And the capture levels range from the mid to high teens, some in their 20s. And this dom comes at him, and Toriko dodges it, grabs it, and he gives it a body slam, and then he goes and he grabs another one, he gives it the snapmare, and it's basically like a big wrestling match. A group of bear pigs come at him, and he's trying to take them out and dodge them, and Rin winds up going in and spraying some of, I'm assuming, the calming fragrance that she has at some of these bear pigs, at some of these animals, and then all of a sudden she is come upon and attacked by this flying bird, this balog, I think it was called. So they're all in all very cool designs. It then takes us to the next portion of it, and I really thought I would just kind of hold this one up to see. And this is neat. I don't know if the author is still doing this, if Mitsutoshi is still doing this, but apparently he must take, and I thought that somebody had mentioned this in the comments, but apparently he must take designs that get sent into him, and some of them work their way for different creatures, and they work their way into the actual manga, because it shows these different creatures, and then it credits who and from where they're from for actually, I guess, drawing them or submitting them, and that is really kind of cool. So I'm definitely going to look into that, and maybe we here at the Nation with some ideas can whip up some cool creations and some cool ideas to send in, and maybe even get one of them featured in an upcoming chapter of Toriko. So anyway, they're surrounded, and now there's a ton of Toriko's like, I can't take out all these people, and he's like, listen, Rin, give me a hit of the battle fragrance. And she's like, what? And they go into this whole explanation about how it's like illegal to use it on humans and everything else because the stuff basically makes you this crazed fucking animal, right? And he's like, no, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to use it for intimidation. But dilute it to 1%. I don't want too much. I don't want to completely lose control, right? So she's like, okay, and she's getting it ready and everything. And then she's just thinking in her mind, she's like, God, I wish he'd lose control on me, And she's getting all again moist for Toriko. So he's going and there's a giant saber-tooth looking beast comes at him, and he's like, Rin, you gotta spray me now. So she goes and hits him with it, right, and sprays him with it, and it's kind of cool because the next thing you go and you see over the next few panels, you see Toriko go and just start to kind of evolve in his form, and it kind of like a Hulk man shirt just rips off, and he's just, and next thing you know, he is just this giant, massive, hulking frickin' demon of a beast. Here's him in the first transformation mode, I guess you would say, and then even Rin's like freaking out. She's just like, oh my God, Toriko's savage self is struggling to escape. And then we go and we actually see the savage self, and it's pretty cool looking. So again, I'm not sure if this is the image that is projected because of just all the hormones and testosterone and everything that's just coming out, and this is just sort of like the image that's being projected onto the enemies, or if he actually does go and kind of rip out of his own skin, so to speak, and turns into this beast. That one, either people are going to have to let me know in the comments down below, or maybe we'll just kind of figure it out as they explain things and as the series goes on. Either way, don't give a shit. Very, very cool stuff. So he winds up going and then he's just like, Rin, get out of here. I'm going to lose control. And then she's like, oh, I want you to lose control around me. Come on, Toriko. But anyway, Toriko goes and they show just this huge, of course that page I showed you where he's just this huge hulking beast and everything below him just starts cowering in fear, and pretty much everybody does like a Scooby-Doo, like, and just scatters, right? You just see like dust and people disappearing, these different creatures. So then you go and you see Toriko and he's just like, whew. Oh man, he's like, thank God, I was like right at the brink there, you know what I mean? It's very, very dangerous, and it is very easy to just kind of lose control and let the beast take over, right? So then they go and they see, and he explains about the whole intimidation thing. Intimidation is really just meant to kind of scare them off. I really don't want to have to fight all them and tear them up, but I was kind of at that point, you know what I mean, where I was almost going to lose control and just start just destroying things for no reason. So it's kind of neat to see that explanation as well. And then we go and we see off in the distance, though, we see this cool looking, it looks like a giant crocodile or what have you. It's one of the, it's called an obosaurus or an obosaurus, and it's a capture level of 27 or 28, I believe. And the thing actually is right on this page over here, and it's very cool because this is the thing that we saw a couple of chapters ago when we saw the 4 GT robots that were, of course, landing on various parts of of the area here to go and capture the Regal Mammoth. And this is one of the things that it was actually riding. So, capture level of 28. And it's kind of neat because he goes and Toriko goes and says, yeah, but that guy wasn't scared off over there. Which means that what he explains about the Obasaurus is, although it is this, hulking level 28 mammal, right? The GT robot, it more or less will act like a horse, like a submissive being, I guess you would say, and it would kind of relinquish that to someone who is stronger, meaning obviously one of these GT robots. So he's assuming that the GT robot is its master. Toriko wants to go and kick his master's ass, but first he's going to have to go and get through this because he thinks that it was kind of left maybe as like a guard dog. And even if it wasn't, obviously Toriko ran across it, and this thing is probably probably more afraid of its master than it is of anything that's going to come at him and certainly try to attack Toriko and Rin. So that is what I'm assuming anyway. But it is definitely kind of cool because he goes and he's just like, I'm going to find myself its GT or its robot master and test my strength against it. So it was definitely kind of cool, And then Rin's like, want another hit of battle fragrance? So you can rampage. He's just like, nah, I'm cool. And then, of course, end of chapter. So very cool stuff. My chapter question for you is, really, what do you think about these various animals that they've kind of shown? Because the Regal Plateau and this area of the White Woods is supposedly it's supposedly we're home to the most dangerous of the animals, with the highest capture levels and some of the most dangerous ones on the whole, Regal Isle and this whole biotope. But really, what do you think of some of the different cool character designs that we find out were, of course, fan submitted, designs? Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation. Yeah, so Rin thinks I'm pretty damn sexy.